Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
The Moja Club makes awesome funky socks that you can buy individually. You can get a subscription, and by you, I mean you and the other guy. Sign up for 6 months or a year and get a pair delivered to your house every month. Get a pair, keep a pair. They'll even throw in one extra month free. And Cyrus Says listeners get a full 33% discount. Just go to their website, themojaclub.in, and use the code Cyrus Says. Time to talk travel stories, and to talk you through travel stories without making a mistake, the one and only Ambika and Khushnuma. Yes, their relationship is not approved by me, but their stories are. Check out new episodes on our IVM podcast apps. Happy listening, mother and fathers. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Here on Cyrus Says, we're going to meet a lady called Khushnuma Daruwala. She's named Daruwala, but she's drunk no alcohol, only coffee. 50 cups of coffee, where she searches for the man who's called Mr. Right. Apparently that's spelled R-I-G-H-T these days. Cyrus Says.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
So here, Cyrus Says, by the way, is the name of the show, and I've discovered a way to deal with people who don't respond to how you're doing. For example, you say, how are you doing? How are you? You're supposed to respond to that, but people don't. They just walk away nodding. That's not good enough. So what I do is I say, how are you? And if they don't reply, I chase them and say, how are you, really loudly in front of them, face to face. I find immediately people change and understand it's an actual question. You have to respond to it. So how are you? Tell me about it. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Here on Cyrus Says, episode number 4,865, at least in Egypt, where we are very big. Not so big in India and in parts of the world where Indians live, which is almost every country now. God damn it. 194 countries, and every single country there are more Indians than anybody else except for the main people of that country. That's the truth of the world, but that's not your story. Khushnuma is with us. Khushnuma Daruwala, related to Merwan?
No.
The squash player?
No.
Jimmy Daruwala, mechanic?
Nope.
I'll find it sooner or later. But we don't have time to go through every single Daruwala I know, but I'll find it at some
Usually
point.
most people ask me Bejan Daruwala.
Bejan?
No.
Damn it, you set me up and you bowled me with that classical googly. Oh, through the gate. Khushnuma, a quick word about you, advertising professional and author, which is what we're going to talk about. 50 Cups of Coffee. Interesting book on a subject which is never ever going to die. Finding the right person. Yep. Male, I presume, from a female perspective. Let's hear your perspective. I've heard lots from our perspective and it sucks. Okay, but quickly, let's talk about you in the beginning. You were in advertising and then you say you rediscovered your love for writing on a sabbatical 6 years ago. Did you go to Egypt?
No, Marine Drive.
Marine Drive! Marine Drive, that classical hill station in South Mumbai where they're building metros and killing trees and all that. Lovely, lovely place to be. So, come on, you tell us your story. You were in advertising.
So I was in advertising. Mm-hmm. I took a break. Wanted to see what else.
Well, you were writing copy?
No. I am in planning. I was a planner.
You're in planning?
Yeah.
Then how did you become a writer? So like most planners, you were a frustrated writer. Frustrated copywriter, frustrated creative person.
Actually, that's an interesting story. I did want to enter copy. But, so I actually started out in research. Then I wanted to get into copy. Obviously, nobody liked my work. So then someone said, why don't you try planning and then get into creative? So but then I stuck in planning.
They were stalling you basically. This is like a government job. We just keep you in that department.
They're being polite.
Which agency was this?
So, before this, I was in Lintas. Then also I was at...
Lintas, which is now known as Low or Mullen Low?
Mullen Low Lintas.
Mullen Low Lintas, my God. So there are three of them actually.
I think
there was one growing up, and then like typical Indian family.
Lintas, yes.
Indian family, they grew 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then?
Then I was at Bates, and then I took a sabbatical.
Oh. So we'll get back to the early part of advertising because you may want to tell us that you were unhappy there or whatever. I want to know that bit as well. But I like this Marine Drive thing, so I want to get that out of my system. So you went for a drive to Marine Drive, as the classical metaphor is.
So I was with a friend. And
what does that mean?
No. A girl, a female friend.
Why? That doesn't mean anything. Go on. Huh.
So we were discussing basically about guys in general. I think women end up talking about guys after a point, after
Right.
discussing
Right.
various other things, weather and everything. And she started
Where
telling
do we
me
rank exactly? Let me just understand. So you start with weather.
movie, weather,
Movie 1, movie over, then weather 2, then...
and then guys.
Guys 3. What
Yeah.
about food? See, we guys, we always go movie, weather, food, girls. So I think that's the difference in the sexes. You're nodding. My engineer's nodding. You forgot food, ma'am. You forgot food. Yeah. So you were just chatting and
And she started telling me about her
problems.
escapades, all the 50. Actually, we learned that she had actually met 50 guys. And she was trying to convince me to join.
She actually kept notes.
No, she remembered them
She remembered 50 different guys.
that she had met.
I can't remember the people in my building.
She's got a good memory.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And?
And that's when I just offered that, should I write about it? And she was more than happy. And so I started writing. Obviously, all 50 weren't as interesting to write about. And then I think as more friends heard about it, they started telling me their stories. So I've used those stories as well, but it's all been through the original protagonist's voice.
Which
through
is
one voice.
based loosely on the girl, your friend whose
Yes.
name is?
So
Are we
I've
allowed?
called her Dia.
Dia is the name of the book.
Yes.
But what is her real name?
No,
There
that's
must
been
be something
masked.
close. Is it Leah? Is it Ria? Come on. Is
No,
it
no, but
Tia? I'm Tia. I'm going to get this. I won't get the Daruwalas, but I'm going to get this.
But actually, a lot of the book has been masked very well.
Uh-huh.
Yes, so no, you won't get it.
Oh, come on. Come on, she deserves credit because she's like the muse. Is that the right word? She's
Okay, the first alphabet is the right alphabet.
D.
D.
Dinah? How many... Give me the ethnicity, I'll get the name. Give me the background.
ethnicity.
Is she Parsi?
Could be. Could be. It's a
I
mix.
mean,
It's a mix. Okay, it's a mix.
She's half Parsi.
Yes.
But is the name Parsi more important than the DNA?
Maybe.
Okay, then...
See, Parsis are very strange
Dinah,
names today,
Dina.
right? You have today you have words like Ariana.
No,
or,
Ariana...
those are all Baba names today.
They're somewhere from Central
So which
Asia,
is why
Russia.
I said it's a mixed name. You will
Oh.
never come to know.
Delphi.
Yeah, okay.
Delna.
Now I'll just agree, yes.
Delilah. Delilah.
Yes, Cyrus.
It's Delilah.
Yes.
Now my producer's writing names down. We can't go on with the interview. You know what you've done? You've done what happens when you get that song in your head. You hear just a couple of lines in, say, in a restaurant or something, but you can't remember the title of the song. So you go on playing that song in your head, we can't get the title. So now we need the name because we can't go forward.
Delilah. I'm telling you.
Look at the way you lied to me. I feel like one of these coffee cups here, one of those bad dates that went wrong the moment the guy sat down and said, "What's up, yaar?" Okay, you're going to take us through all that. You won't give me the name yet, but let's now start about the book in earnest. First, set it up. So, what are we looking at here? Basically, the girl meets different guys on a first date.
Yes.
It's all about the first date experience.
Some of the stories could have come out even on the second or third if she's gone forward with
Okay.
that particular person.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. So
But
now-
it's not about a serious relationship. These are still people you're evaluating to figure, is this the one?
So it's different. So the 50 cups of coffee are with different people.
No. So actually what happened is initially the plan was to write a story for each of the 50 dates.
Right.
Like I said, there wasn't enough meat on each of the dates.
Or some would be much
Yeah.
more intense and some would be much less.
Absolutely blah, some would
Huh.
be. So then what
And she
I've done...
looks at me. Pointedly. By the way, my producer's still writing names. Moron. He's gone berserk. Sorry, we're never going to get that out of our system. You've got to give us the name before we end.
Delilah.
And it's not Delilah. Who's called Delilah anymore? They call Lila at best. Yeah. Sorry. So let's again understand
Yeah.
the setup of the whole book, which is...
So each chapter is actually a particular topic.
Mm-hmm.
So one topic could be mama's boys, or one topic could be guys who probably want to meet you but just want to meet you. That's it. They
What does
don't
that
want
mean?
Okay.
They just want to meet
So
you?
for example, that's a part-time lovers.
Okay.
So for example, they might want to talk to you, meet you, but then it's just that. That's it. So they might throw a little clue that, okay, yes, I'm interested, but then back off. So
They want to meet you, but they don't want to take it further.
So they say they want to meet you, but they don't want to meet you. But they don't meet you.
I'm really confused. They want to meet you.
They say that.
Oh, they're trying to make you happy by saying that. They're doing you a favor. These are God's gift to women. Oh, okay. So this is John Abraham and Hrithik Roshan and themselves who want to do you a favor and say, we'll come and meet you. But actually, that's just a surface thing to
Yeah.
make you happy.
Yeah.
And in actuality, the ugliest men in the world. And for you, it's saving grace is they leave. Am I right? Okay. Let's look at some of the other titles because some of these names I couldn't understand. Talkaholics Anonymous, I get a vague idea. What is that? Women don't like being out-talked?
No, these are just talkers.
As in?
So they would be just happy talking to you. They're
No
just
action.
no. Yeah.
And they just talk about themselves?
Anything. They could talk about the weather. They could talk about
Again,
books.
back
they
to the weather.
books. They could talk about anything in
Which
the world.
men talk about books? I've never heard.
Some do.
Really?
Few.
There's about 3 from what I gather. Names? No names.
No names.
Okay. So, Talkaholics Anonymous. All talk, no action. That's right.
Yep.
What is Blue Beard?
So these guys have got a bit of a dark history.
Like the pirate? That's
No.
Blackbeard.
That Bluebeard is a guy whose wives used to disappear because they were murdered.
What are you saying?
You do realize these are dramatic chapter names, right?
They are very dramatic and very exaggerated. I'm thinking, what kind of people are you dating? Hi, my name is Dr. Sen. My wife of 13 years one day went to walk the dog and the dog came back and we don't know what happened. Something like
Cyrus
that.
creative license.
Fair enough. No, you got to sell the book. I am with you.
There were no wives.
But they've got pass.
Yes.
And Khushnuma, again, tell us, you base this on real people, huh?
Yes.
So this Bluebeard story, for example, there's a guy who's hiding some criminality perhaps or some really bad habits. Or is that it?
Or yeah, so basically this whole thing was about dig into people's history and that could reveal a lot about them. So this chapter is focused on that.
So can we just elaborate that one a little bit? So what happens? I don't want to give away too many things.
God, I don't remember that chapter.
You don't remember? What kind of author? You're like me. I have no idea what I've written. Okay, we'll move on. What is Liger Burning Bright?
So this is
poem.
interesting. Liger actually is the
Lion Tiger mix.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was all about how certain communities get very affronted when you might bring up somebody who's not from that community.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's begin with the Parsis. You don't have to go very far.
Yes.
I like the way she disguises everything. Plain speak. Okay. Okay, Liger. Okay, is that about that girl?
So these are about reactions which people have when they realize that, let's say, you might be open to intercaste marriages or the reactions of their family if they realize, oh, you'd be okay if you married a non-Parsi or a non-Catholic or a non-Hindu. So,
But we're dealing with the book deals basically with the guy only, right?
deals with a guy. Yeah.
In the sense, the date between this girl and that guy.
No, but very often they would say, oh, my mum said this, or my grandma used to say this, or my uncle used to say this.
Is it true we Indian men bring the mom into a lot of things without knowing?
Yes.
I've been told this by my own wife.
Even grandmas.
Grandmas, yeah. This is the whole thing is, without knowing, subconscious level, the mother's greatness is somewhat included in some way or the other. Sometimes subtly, sometimes not so subtly.
Even the mother's preferences.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, my mother didn't like you, but I do.
No. Where will we be staying?
Very important.
Yeah. When will we visit them?
Oh, are these the questions?
Yeah.
My God, very scary.
And these are first date questions and answers.
First date? Who asked this on the first date?
No, but there is a story where a guy says, okay, fine, we will live separately, but we will go every weekend and meet my parents. My mom says so.
Wow. And what is your reaction to that if that happened to you?
I would just stare at him. I think my jaw would drop.
Really? What attachment to mothers? But then mothers are very nice to us. I think mothers, this is something we should now address for a minute before we go back to the book. Mothers, if you're listening, you spoil the Indian males especially. We have to stop that at some level. Now, don't you think? And that is why in the Parsi community alone, and symbolically for everyone as well in India, they just can't leave the mother's hip, no matter what we do. I miss my mother already and she's only 6 kilometers away. Yeah. What can I say? It's terrible. All right. What is It's Not Me, It's You?
So this one was about, initially you start thinking it's you. There's something wrong with you.
Oh. No, it's not the way you dismiss the relationship when you say that we can't be together, but it's not me, it's you?
Yeah, so initially you always think it's you.
Oh.
But then I think through this chapter, this girl realizes that actually it's the guy. And she actually puts the blame back on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, again, this is only the first date. But you're not seeing him again.
See, it's not exactly always just the first date.
Okay.
Sometimes you might have met somebody once. It could be a second meeting or a third meeting also, which could be a part of it.
But in this particular thing, it's about the divorce, about the breakup.
No. This is about... initially you feel that, let's say, if you're not clicking or if you're attracting really strange people, it's all you. it's your problem because you seem to be attracting the wrong crowd. But actually then you realize, okay, maybe there's something wrong with just all the guys out there.
So you initially blame yourself, but then the truth is you're never wrong. I'm understanding that. Yeah. Now, here on Cyrus Says, for the first time, I'm going to test the author. And when I say test the author, because you want to know today.
Where's my other copy?
Khushnuma, listen, Khushnuma. There's a lot of plagiarism in this world, and Harry Potter books I wrote first, for example, and that woman stole them, Rowling or whatever her name is. Tolkien's books were written by my relative, Uncle Hoshi, and so a lot of people have gotten away with murder. So I won't let that happen on my show. So Khushnuma Daruwala, rather. The book's called 50 Cups of Coffee, The Woes and Throes of Finding Mr. Right. That's fair. I will just go to any page to test my author. Page 790 has been chosen, paragraph 2. I will start the sentence, you complete it. Khushnuma, if you are silly enough to quote a number...
This is about the age.
The next line is, it will always be met with a disapproving. Now give me the last line.
Glare.
That's too little.
Cyrus.
Come on, say it.
That's too little.
Oh! You wrote the book. No, I'm just kidding around. All right, let me understand an overview of the whole book. This book is written for women to understand men?
I think we just wanted to have fun. I think the stories were so hilarious. I mean, I just felt other women would love reading about them, would want a laugh.
You all bitch about us as much as... because I don't think men know this.
What?
Do you really make fun of us behind our backs like this all the time?
Hey, even guys make fun. Apparently, guys are known to bitch a lot.
No, we're more vain. We'll end up talking about ourselves very quickly.
Guys have admitted they bitch a lot.
We do bitch a little bit, but I won't say a lot. But now I'm getting a little disappointed. I'm worried that women discuss everything, the way you dress, the way you look, what you do, the bad habits. He dug his nose, he didn't even realize it. I don't know. It's a little scary when all these things come up. So again, I'm asking, so is this for women to read more than men? Is that the idea?
It was initially written for women, yes. But quite a few people have seemed to like it. Even guys seem to like it. A lot of my friends have picked it up. I'm still waiting for their review.
What is the guy critiques of the book? Do they agree with this? They say, we know guys like that?
So I've heard of a guy critique this book. I've read one. It was very vague, but he just didn't like it. And he felt, then why is she going on so many dates if she doesn't like any of them or something, It was a very angry review.
I think 50 dates is not like a lifetime. Everybody goes on 50 dates. It's okay.
Yeah, but obviously he didn't like it.
He hasn't been on any date. Forget 50.
He got probably miffed. He's a flag bearer of men, maybe.
Was he? What's his name? Full name?
He's a reviewer. I don't know.
You never give us names. Your whole thing is you just stop at the end and don't give us names. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and talk a little bit about the book and lots about you. 50 Cups of Coffee is not a linear narrative with a pat ending, but it's a compilation of experiences, musings, and a few tricks, tips, and flops and misgivings, along with lots of humor. Is that the correct way to set it up?
Yes.
All right, we'll talk some more when we come back with Khushnuma Daruwala, who a professional advertising person who's given it up.
No, I'm still back.
Going right back after she releases 50 Cups of Coffee.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast, The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
I'm here with Khushnuma Daruwala and we were discussing men. We both love men. Oh no, you love. Do you love men? Do you like men?
Yes.
Oh my God, you hesitated. You just didn't want to give them the word love.
Yes.
That was too much. Fair enough. I think that's fair. You like men. You need men. There's a biological thing and all involved. But
I didn't know where you were heading.
I also didn't
Which
know
is why I
had no
pausing.
idea where I was heading. So sorry about that. Khushnuma, I want to go back to your life now because that's also part of our show. To discover, before you found your voice as an author, you were an advertising person. We rushed through that in the beginning. Where do you grow up?
Bombay.
Bombay, where?
Tardev.
Okay. Nespag?
No.
Next to
No
Chicken
bug.
Center?
No bugs.
Where? This is all my area.
Near
Sister.
AC Market.
Near AC Market where MTV had an office?
Yes.
For such a long time. Oh, okay. See.
And I think a lot of people used to come and park their cars and all
Yeah.
the models used to walk out and used to be like all as kids staring at them.
Is that so?
Yeah.
My God. I used to get parking in those days myself. It was a wonderful time to be in Mumbai. Tell us, so school, college?
Queen Mary School.
Queen Mary's. Excellent.
And then HR College.
It's a house of romance, and hence
Yes.
the book. 50 Cups of Coffee came out of there.
My God, I'd forgotten about that.
What was your dating life like, Khushnuma? Let's get a little insight into that.
So I was in a relationship. So I wasn't dating like...
You were in a long-term relationship. All right. Let's get back to your life. So then your college in HR, normal South Bombay experience. And then what did you do? Advertising immediately?
Then I did my MBA.
Oh.
And then I was trying to get into advertising immediately. But I think I couldn't... I think there was a freeze or whatever was going on. So I joined research. So I was a researcher for around 4.5 years.
People ask me this all the time because nobody seems to know what research is about. Because now with Google, I was thinking, do you really need this department? You just, go on Google and you find out everything. So what do you guys research in research?
So, for example, if they left this book with somebody and said, okay, read it and then tell us what you think about it. That would be research in a way, right?
I call it feedback.
Yeah, so it's
I can
pretty
Google
much.
it.
But, suppose...
I'm just teasing, Khushnuma. Don't answer these questions.
Okay.
Leave it. Okay, so you were in research. You
Yes.
were in research then?
Then I wanted to, shift to advertising in copy, which didn't happen. So I went back to research and then I went into planning. And that's where I've been for now, 10 plus years.
And then this writing bug, which was always there, bit you and you started writing.
Yeah, actually it was there only in school. I think I used to enjoy those little essays that they used to make you do when you're in school.
but there's a
And
whole
those
lot of-
1-pagers and 2-pagers.
One piece, you've really hit the nail on the head. I love writing 1 page. I hate writing 100 pages. I just think anything that takes more than 5 minutes shouldn't be done. Honestly, that's why I believe that we should not have suburbs. Because if you have suburbs, you have to go there. And then it takes more than 5 minutes. That's my point. But this is your story, not mine. Now let me talk to you about the Indian men. Because that's what it comes down to that. It's 50 cups of coffee with people like us that you have to date from a female perspective. So why don't you tell us in the next few minutes that we have in the program, what do you girls or what do ladies want from Indian men? What are our shortcomings? If that will take too long, just tell us how you can rectify things.
If I knew, I would have written a book on that, Cyrus.
No, but give a girl's perspective. What do we do wrong? The approach. I mean, people. I read a column where they keep asking me questions. I really don't know what to say sometimes because there's so many mistakes we make. So, from a female perspective, what is the basic glaring issues that you have to address as a male?
I think the most basic one would be not be creepy. So if you're meeting me for the
My
first
God.
time, you shouldn't be asking me, oh, you go swimming. Do you wear a 2-piece?
Do you find a lot of us are creepy?
No, not a lot.
But there are a few.
There are a few.
Yeah. But maybe they do that because they're feeling so insecure about who they are, so they just don't know what to say and they'll end up asking ridiculous questions like, do you go swimming in a
Why
bikini?
are you defending them?
I'm just trying to think of what the rationale can be. What else?
I think that is the most...
What about old-fashioned manners? I don't see men opening doors or
That's
do you,
okay.
Or do you not care about that?
No, that's okay.
Is that sexist?
Maybe the other point which you brought about mama's boys, I think that would be a issue.
But that's also the mamas have to be blamed. Because without doing it, they've attached themselves to the son so strongly also. So it's both ways. It has to stop with the mother. The mother has to stop mollycoddling.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, you're just going to probably find the guy...
I think at age 45, I need to move out of my mother's room. In fact, tonight, I'm going to sleep in the
Cyrus,
hall.
I think you're in the book then. Because there is a story like that.
Is there?
Yes.
Which one is that?
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. But he's in the same room as his mother.
Yeah.
Forget house. What are you saying? And based on a true story?
Yes.
Please don't tell me it's a Parsi boy.
No.
Huh. And?
But Cyrus, I think it was you. See, a lot of the stories have come from friends, so I don't know whether they've met you or not.
I'll tell you one thing. One reason why I can't be in this book, I hate coffee. I absolutely can't drink coffee. It's just not my thing. Can't drink it. Coffee or tea. All right. So give us some insights now, because now you've written this book. A lot of men are going to ask you this question, Khushnuma. You've written this book about men and their failures at dating correctly and the flaws, obviously, in their social awkwardness and things like that. So how to rectify it? Give us some positive feedback. Or as we say in Delhi, constructive criticism, yaar.
See, giving advice and... I don't want to preach to guys, So, I think but my second book is going to be...
But you'll point out their mistakes and insult them in that way, but you won't preach, yeah.
No. See, even the protagonist is not like some perfect person.
Correct.
Even the protagonist has flaws. So, even that is there. So, it's not as if it's a man-bashing book. It's just about crazy experiences, funny things which have been said probably both ways. It was actually, the idea was never to just mock guys. I think the idea was there were fantastic stories. I think I realized I wanted to write. So it was a little bit of a selfish motive as well. And
Yeah, but you've written that Dia's voice, a 30 plus city girl who's perplexed to discover finding a partner can be tough. But does it end with her finding a partner?
No.
No?
But it's a happy ending.
Oops, what does that mean?
No.
Oh my God.
As if she's not like depressed or something.
Huh.
Yeah. So that is why it's not a typical story where...
No, my point is, but do you really need to find a partner?
Exactly.
Because that, I think, is half the problem when males and females date, is they try to find this solution to the whole date. It has to end with them being married or something, which is, I think,
I think most Indian romance novels happen. That's what happens.
Hindi films, they have to end with a bloody barat and them getting married. Oh, rubbish. Yeah. It's just a date which should have a happy moment in your life and not be much more than that. Yeah. Right?
Though the ending did change. So
what do you mean it changed?
So I did tweak the ending during editing.
Why? You met someone?
No, because I think my initial ending was a bit far out.
Okay, now I got to know. What was the initial ending? Please share it with us. Because now it's safe.
Okay, so I'll just tell you what it entailed. Mm-hmm. There were some aliens there.
What? Are you drinking? What medication are you on, Khushnuma? You've lost me completely.
So I think my editor realized... not happening.
You suddenly incorporated aliens. You couldn't stand Indian men. After 50 dates, you said, forget it, I prefer get some aliens and rectify the situation. And what if they kidnap the girl?
I just told you that much.
It involved aliens.
Yeah. Thank God my editor saw it and said, no, not happening.
Maybe that's just sci-fi is your next 50 cups of coffee in the moon. Something totally different.
50 cups of coffee with aliens.
With aliens. Which could mean many things in India, let me tell you. Okay, so what's next then? Now that you've written this.
I actually thought of a book from a guy's point of view. So all these stories from women, I actually wanted to because when I told a lot of guys about this book, they were like, hey, we've also gone on so many dates and the kind of things we've heard from the women themselves.
Right.
So I did think about a sequel which would be a guy's point of view, but I don't know whether guys will enjoy picking up a book like that. I'm not sure.
No, I want to read this from a girl's point of view.
Yeah.
It's very gossipy. See, I don't think that's the problem at all. People will read it because you want
the guy's point of view.
No, both ways you want to know. I think as a reader, both ways work. It's not an issue. But I would like to know the truth. Exactly what happened on that date. The women have to be honest, as in this book they are, and the men have to be honest about the women in the date.
Yeah.
For example, if you go on a date with a woman and she smells really bad, but she looks really good, so it's this paradox that's happening all the time, and so I'm sure there are these kind of stories. So I think that's a great.
I'm going to add this also.
You want to make it up?
I'm going to add this one to my list.
But I actually went on a date like that. I know for a fact, and it was very bad in the elevator. Because we went to a restaurant where we had to go by a lift, by an elevator. And in that I didn't smell her till then. And then I smelled her and I was like, oh God. And she smelled worse than me, which is scary. Because I could smell her through me. If I could just smell her, it was one thing. And
so then finally what one?
But she was
Looks
very pretty.
Or smell?
I drank, so it was okay. The good thing about alcohol is that all the senses get dulled. That's how you survive marriage. That's my book.
But obviously you didn't go on the second date with her.
No, I think I did. We did go on a few dates. But, once that happens, it stays in your mind. It's so sad. We're so fragile and petty that once you have... It's not like we're Adonis ourselves, but you can't get out of your mind. I think that's half the problem with dating. You just prejudge. And other people auto-suggest and then you prejudge more. Have 3 friends involved in your date and see what happens. Am I right?
Yeah.
They'll start looking at the person from their perspective and it's always going to be negative. And then you got 4 more bags of negativity and then there's no chance. And that's why arranged marriage works. Mom and dad tell you, marry, get out, finish. No negative feedback. Till Thursday when you know it's a stupid idea.
Yeah. So in fact, modern Malady is about that. That was simpler when it was arranged marriages. It was simpler. At least they did all the initial checks.
Yeah.
You probably just did a check on chemistry.
Baba, the main thing about arranged marriage, you can blame your parents. In love marriage, who do you blame? The problem is you can't blame anyone. What are you going to do? I didn't check for smell. No, you can't say that. It's too late. Yeah. Very interesting. But, it's fascinating that you hit a topic which actually we spend so many hours looking at in our real lives in the sense that, and not just youngsters, teenagers, 20s or whatever, even post-marriage, we spend a lot of time discussing our mates, girls, people of the other gender, same gender, whatever, people you're interested in. It's not a topic that ever gets boring. It remains where it is. But we don't improve. We don't improve in the whole dating process. We don't evolve really. And that's the funny thing.
Yeah. I think it's become more complicated as well.
Yeah,
dating. It's become really complicated, I think, these days.
I think the standards are higher now. if anything, because there's so many other options and there's so much social imagery also which is available, so it's not easy, right?
Yeah.
You go on a date and 10 people have posted they've seen you on Facebook and now your wife knows. Sorry, Khushnuma, that's my story. It's really bad. All right, listen, it's been wonderful talking to you, and I hope you write a book on the male perspective as well. I think you will, because I think it'll be fun. And just one last thing, do you have a partner?
Not at the moment.
What does that mean?
Not at the moment.
You have coffee but no partner?
Yes, I have a coffee and my laptop right now.
Mm-hmm. So are you looking for Mr. Right? Because that's the whole supposition of your book.
Well, honestly, I've been just writing about it.
Now
I need to start
doing
having
a
coffee.
Femina Miss India answer session with me where I'm not getting the answer I want to know. You'll start thanking Mother Teresa for all she's done. I have to be a little careful here. So
yes.
Where's your Mr. Right?
I'm looking.
So you write a book about Mr. Bloody Right and how you can't find him. And now when I ask you, you have no idea where your Mr. Right is. So what would make up this is the last question, your Mr. Right. What are the few qualities that you're looking for?
Likes coffee.
Okay, and?
Likes books.
Pro-BJP, pro-Congress. Give me more.
Not pro-BJP.
Veg, non-veg. Not pro-BJP. Oops, you narrowed it down to 2%. Then?
Oh yeah, I think I should start with that.
You
not
must.
pro-BJP.
See, these are not small things, because as you get into relationships, I think political philosophy now starts coming out. Bigotry, prejudices, stereotyping, all that. I think get it out of the system. If I had to write again and find
Cyrus,
a date,
now you know why it's so tough.
I don't want to go back to the dating pool. You'll have to shave every day also. It's just painful. And not just me, the woman also. Because look at my age group.
Yeah.
So you're not telling me anything about the guy you were looking for?
See, it's... No. You can't have a list, It doesn't work that way. That's the whole point. It doesn't work when you have a list.
Romance has to be romance.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Khushnuma, you giggle through it all, but I'm going to read the book and I think it's very insightful. And about time people write about this, because dating in India is another thing altogether. As you know, I think the female perspective is always going to be stronger because we F it up more than you guys do. And let's hope you see the other side as well soon. Thank you for being here. We'll end with a song by Khushnuma Daruwala. Sing whatever you want. Go ahead.
Help me.
You're singing Help? Beatles?
Yes, help me.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. We'll sing seconds. No?
No.
There goes my date.
Hello there, my name is Naveen Narona, and as a gay person in India, I get asked a lot of stupid questions.
Beta, is it LGBT or eligibility?
How do two men procreate?
Bro, is Grindr better than Tinder or what?
We answer all these questions and much more on my podcast, Keeping It Queer, where I talk to individuals from the LGBT community in India and learn about their personal stories. Catch all the episodes on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app you like. Till then, keep it queer.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right, that was Khushnuma Dalal on Cyrus Says. Not Dalal, Daruwala, by the way. Dalal is a cousin. Let's just clarify that so there's no trouble later.
Parsi is good Jews, all cousins.
Humanity is a cousin, if you ask me. Is that the right grammar? Perhaps not. Anyway, we were discussing with Khushnuma about dating, and I'm a huge fan of Indian dates in the sense that they are exquisitely different from the rest of the world.
Ooh, in what
So
way?
let's get the
me
ladies'
see.
perspective again. Dates and Indian men? Awkward moments that you can remember?
Awkward moments. Yeah,
Please, I'm begging you to tell me. Go on.
awkward moments. I have had some. I can't really remember the last time I went on a really bad date. Well, I've
Is your social life so bad that 15 minutes of our AMAs will go and you're thinking about your last date?
Yeah,
you don't have to make it up, watch a movie, watch your trailers. Wait trailers now.
I can tell you something that could come off as sweet, but seems kind of weird.
Quick.
So, okay. So there was this guy, I think we were just generally chatting. It was a really nice conversation. He seemed really interesting. And then at one point, I've got, like as normal people, you have moles on your arm or whatever. And I've got like a really big one here.
Wow.
And
Is
so
that
he
a mole
was
or a
like,
nipple?
Thank you. I've got
So sorry.
an extra
That's
nipple.
humongous.
It's gigantic.
My God, if I was on date on you, I'd be like, don't take anything off. I'll just have my way with that.
Hey,
Okay,
my poor
so-
mole's
but
getting
it is-
hurt feelings now.
They can't see it, but for the listeners who are there, it's a really large mole that she has, which is almost
Naveen will I'll take a picture of it
Yeah,
and
it's
send it to
probably
everyone.
like a half-inch in diameter.
Put it on,
Go on. So,
put it on Instagram.
so, May, so what happened?
So basically, he saw this, and I don't know, I've got like other moles, obviously, as normal
What?
people do. Yeah, not
Bigger
like,
than this?
No.
Forget your story, just show us stuff. Huh. Go on.
So at one point, he was like, you know what? I wish I could play join the dots with all your moles.
Well, now that you mention it, I don't think that's the most awkward thing.
That's what I'm saying. It was
Was he
sweet,
trying
but
to be
then a
funny?
little odd at the same time. Because nothing.
Was he trying to be sexual?
No,
Like, you're
because
so
initially
hot,
I
I
was
wanna
just.
draw.
I would have to think
no,
so.
so I thought it was like really, and then
Either
he
funny
was
or
just
sexual
being,
is not the reason.
Yeah, so it wasn't funny.
Oh,
It was
basically
he
both.
was just trying to be kind of cute and sweet, like cutesy. Like I just want to join the dance.
No, so he's line marrowing. It's a
he's
patawing-
totally line marrowing,
patawing
but
technique.
like. Yeah, but it was like I said, it could go both ways.
You
It
should
could
have
be funny and also really
my
creepy.
biggest mole is in my nostril.
That's just you then.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go.
Test it.
I'm gonna go pee now.
Where's the Lakshman Rekha? If you find out that. Cross if you have
All
the
right,
guts.
let's get to a question.
Yeah,
Enough of these moles, man.
You know, the other thing we Indians do, we say the same word twice all the time. I'm going question. She's going mole.
Okay. I will go I because
Aye.
that's the first word of the question.
Okay.
This is from Sean Marshall.
Uh-huh.
I have heard you passionately talking about the 70s and early 80s of cricket, and your cricket knowledge is really commendable, but I noticed that you never refer to Sachin or Dravid. Is it because of any specific reason?
Yeah,
Would love
I'll
to
explain
hear
that.
views about
That's a
them
very
as well.
simple sociological reason for that. Is anyone who studied psychiatry like I have, I know my Adler from my Freud. I wake up and tell the difference. But I have to tell you that we all love our generation. We cannot
Exactly.
change that. Okay, we
Everything-
can pretend to, but we
Yeah.
cannot.
Everything
It's
was
human
best
nature.
when we were 14 to 20.
Yeah, so, and no, I'm saying
yeah,
you
for
also,
sure.
You also idolize your generation of when you're a kid. So the
Always.
cricketers, the rock stars, the whatever
They
in
were
the
cooler,
80s
they were better,
were
they were-
huge for me.
Yeah.
But by the time they're younger than me or my age, I don't have that kind of love.
Right.
I'm never going to have that reverence.
No, yeah, exactly.
So I
right.
like
think-
Sachin. I like
yeah.
Rahul.
I think
Dravid,
that's a
but-
great point.
but
Right? People
they're
who are
not Vivian
older than
Richards.
you look up to.
No,
People who are younger
if I
than
meet
you.
Viv Richards now, I still quake because it's Viv Richards. But if
Yeah.
I meet Sachin, I'm glad to meet Sachin because
Yeah.
he's great and a great
Well, like
footballer.
it's nice to meet
But
you. But, like,
it's
yeah.
my generation. It's always going to be my generation.
Yeah, it's not that
Couldn't agree
same
with you
kind of
more.
like, oh, I'm a fan, kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you don't have that same starry-eyed looking up to kind of feeling.
Exactly.
And imagine now, forget Sachin and Rahul, then Virat Kohli. What are the next generation after that? So you have the KL Rahuls and the kids coming in. The next generation of batsmen. So you have someone like Kedar Jadhav, who's now half my age or less, who's going to call me uncle.
So a couple
now
of-
is when the slapping is going to happen. So we're going from idolizing Viv Richards to I'm scared to talk to him because he's the great Viv Richards to Kedar chop. The whole concept changes. And it's all to do with age, not to do with their goodness or badness.
No, exactly. They can be incredibly talented,
Yeah.
but you just do not have that
Yeah.
same kind of reverence for them in any way.
No, so a couple of years ago when I heard that Vince Carter is the oldest player in the NBA right now, I was just like, holy crap, that just sucks.
How old is Vince Carter?
He's 41.
And you're about the same.
I'm older than he is.
Jeez. So the moment that happens, if you're a sports lover like he is on basketball or I'm like cricket, then what happens is there's a point where you can't idolize. You
Yeah.
love the game.
You love the game,
But they're
exactly.
just cricketers now.
Yeah.
It's like the share market. Now you trade them. That's it. Nothing
exactly.
more.
They're no longer heroes. They're
No.
now
Yeah, so
just
that
players.
emotional
and good
attachment
players,
can
bad
never be the
players.
same.
Exactly.
That's true.
But bring Viv Richards here and I'll urinate. I'll still feel fear. Because he's the great Viv Richards. That's it. I'll never change.
All right. Here's another question. What Seinfeld character do you love the most? Is there one or two episodes from Seinfeld which, according to you, are the best?
Well, I think Seinfeld and Blackadder are the two greatest shows I've ever seen.
Oh my God, I love Blackadder.
Blackadder, I cry when I watch. Out of reverence, I
I've
cry.
seen
and
the
Rowan
series
Atkinson
at
again walks in
least
front of
20.
me. I bend down, I prostrate myself, and I lick the floor. Okay, I mean, he's God.
Yeah.
And same Seinfeld. Personally speaking, there's some of the smaller characters which I really love.
Yeah.
I love the lawyer.
The
crazy
black
guy,
dude, the guy,
the crazy
Johnny
guy.
Cochran.
He's super. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love the soup Nazi. I think that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's just incredible. I mean, you can take him and put him anywhere, and he'll make you laugh. He's just so ramrod funny. He reminds me of so many Parsi men I know growing up. Who are so anal about certain things. Not so for you. I mean, she's just moved a little bit left, and not so for you. And I love the boy in the bubble. I love the parents of the boy in the bubble. There's so many smaller characters people forget along the way. But speaking of the Force Central, for me, Jason Alexander's character, I think because for many of us, we always see ourselves as losers, as bums, as people who lie their way, and we're fraudulent people, comedians, entertainers. What do we have? We have no degrees, we have no talent. Let's face it, we sit on a set, we do the least work, we contribute nothing, and mostly people just listen to us because they don't want to upset our feelings. That's it. So Jason Alexander's character is the one, I think, from an empathy level, which is the biggest.
Yeah.
To some extent, in Seinfeld also, but because that...
So Seinfeld doesn't... I don't feel like he has a real
he's the most
character,
straight.
right?
No. But you need that straight character to bounce off the mad people.
Exactly, he's a straight guy.
Elaine is fantastic. Elaine's just
hilarious.
fantastic.
Really
Elaine's hilarious.
And then there's always Kramer, of course.
Yeah.
But the one I really...
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Alexander, the lying. The lying is something that I've lied all my life. I remember when I was in acting school in New York, and these Cuban ladies who ran the school in the admin section and all, I told them I was an Afghanistani refugee. And they would feed me. They would actually feed me. They would always call me for lunch. It just, I don't know why I lied. Because I never struggled. I lived in Malabar Hill, and I had a tiffin in one of my dad's office and ate biryani with a thumbs up during lunch break, and the AC comfort, and driver dropped me to school, everything. And I told him I'm a refugee from Kandahar. And these Cuban ladies who themselves are almost immigrants coming and feeding me their tapas and papas and everything else. Yeah. So, you lie. So Jason's, George's character is like, he just lies. He's an architect. He's a marine biologist. I mean, the guy is not even like, he's the guy who failed everything. It's fantastic. Your favorite?
Probably George. Or maybe actually I like Newman. Newman is hilarious.
You know what? I was just
going
to
say. How often do you have such a nasty character?
Guy.
He's just straight up asshole.
See, the brilliance of that series is what about the owner of the Yankees, which is played by Larry David himself, and whose face is never seen. And no matter what George does wrong, he just doesn't get fired. I mean, there's so much brilliance in that show.
Oh God, I remember that.
Oh,
so I was going to say Newman as well, but Kramer for sure. He was just the most ridiculous. Okay, I could never predict what he was going to do next. He's one of those characters who has no idea. It's just a finely edged serial, and Larry David should get a lot of credit for that, because you can see a lot of Larry David in all the bizarre. The observational humor is always Seinfeld, and then the bizarre is all him, and I like the bizarre. The boy in the bubble, the soup Nazi, the woman who can't be heard. Go on a date with a woman who you don't know what she's saying, and they all have to guess what the next date is, where it is. I mean, it's just genius, man.
Are you a fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Really? I've never liked that show.
I've never liked it either.
The obituary series where he writes, he's supposed to go out and write the obit for his girlfriend's aunt, and there's a typo, and instead of AUNT, it's written CONT in the newspaper. Our beloved CONT who passed away. That episode, if you do not die laughing, you will not die at all. You're immortal. That's okay.
I don't know. I just find I never really enjoyed this show for some reason.
I agree with you.
Because Larry David's not an endearing man. I can get that on camera. And also but his thinking is fantastic.
It's this. The entire show is just everything is about making you as a viewer uncomfortable, and that just it gets to me after a bit.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
But I think together they work magic.
They worked well.
They balance out well.
Exactly.
Because you got Seinfeld's nice guy impressions and observations, and you got the nutcase Larry David, and you meet somewhere in the middle, and it's perfect. Now I've run out of time. Can I leave, or you want to talk some more?
Good.
Because Cyrus Says has a limit, purely because of Cyrus. Right. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online, and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called Mae.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Excuse me, भैया. Excuse me.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस सेज है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.